yo. This is your boy Samuel Koto, officially known as All Senior Son. Yeah. A men's science gang tutor. Yeah, it's a tutor. Yeah, tutor. Okay, so um, as I was saying, it's just I need you guys to I want you to do me a favor, please. The videos that I upload on my YouTube channel, please guys, share them, ask questions, comment there, you know what I mean, and subscribe, like, and then yeah, as I said, share with your friends, man, share with your schoolmates, man, you know what I mean, so that they can know that no, man, there's this boy from where busy what Wantwara, maths and science, like you are there, bro. I'm here to help you guys everywhere, worldwide. I'm here to help you guys with maths and physical sciences. So yeah, it's a morning, and I just woke up, and I just need a haircut. I don't even know if I'm gonna get it. The boy's broke as hell. But then okay, we're not there right now. We're gonna be busy with trig, yeah, trig, because it is said like some students are writing and stuff like that, so then I'm gonna be busy with it and other topics as well, so then I'm gonna upload them today, all of them today. But I've had like many students are struggling with trig, so I'm gonna like put more effort into it, yeah, put more effort into it, and then we go. All right, welcome back to my tutorial lessons again. So okay, today we're still continuing with trig, so now we're getting deeper. This is for the grade 11s and 12 as well. So but I know the grade 12s have like the extended version of it, but then yeah, man, let's get busy with the introductions so that the difficult questions don't get that difficult, you know what I mean. So here what we're going to do, I'm going to help you guys understand these questions, because yeah, now I'm a tutor, guys. I'm not really a teacher. Yeah, I'm a tutor. Yeah, I help you understand things, you know what I mean, just as these questions. So okay, here's our question 4.1. If theta is a reflex angle and tan theta is equal to -3/4, determine without the use of a calculator and with the aid of a diagram value of. Okay, yeah, we're given the we need to calculate some values ne. So before we can get to that, yeah, before we can get to that, let's look at our question first, at our statement first, before we can like attempt the questions. Let's understand the statements, right? So they're saying if theta is a reflex angle, let me underline the reflex angle. It just means like the angle is greater than 90. Like it's greater than 90, like it's going like close to a revolution kind of like thing. So the angle is greater than 90, and yeah, I'll still want to prove that with this one, because they're saying the theta is a reflex angle, and here we have our theta, so we'll need to find theta so that we can prove this, if whether this thing is a correct thing, is a reflex angle or not. So as I've said, reflex angle, it means that the angle is greater than 90 degrees. Yeah, than 90 degrees. So and tan theta is equal to -3/4. So here we have tan theta is equal to -3/4. On tan theta, we know yes, let's go back to our trigonometric ratios. We know Oguti, we have sine. Let me just write theta because we're already using theta, cos theta, tan theta. So okay, you know Oguti sine theta, you know Oguti whenever there is sine, just know Oguti the values that you are going to have here is opposite over hypotenuse. So then cos is adjacent over hypotenuse. And then tan is opposite over adjacent always. So here we have tan, and I've said tan is opposite over adjacent, so which means our opposite here is 3 and our hypotenuse is 4. So then this negative here, it tells us like that there is a value that is going to a negative direction, but here we don't know which one it is because we don't have a hypotenuse here. We only have the opposite side and the adjacent side. We don't know, we don't have the hypotenuse here. So you know, we see the hypotenuse is always positive. There is no a negative value when it comes to a hypotenuse value. So about opposite and adjacent, they are the ones with like the negative directions and the positive directions. Excuse, they are the ones. So here we don't know which one like is a positive, is a negative and positive. You know what I mean? Because you know, we see any number divided by, when you say positive divide by negative, the answer you're going to get negative. You know what I mean? You're going to get the negative. So then when you divide negative divide by negative, you're going to get a positive answer. You know what I mean? So here we don't know which one is negative and positive. So but let's do this. Let's try to find theta. Let's try to find theta before we can attempt any questions. We're still at 4.1, not at 4.1.1. So let's expand this. We want to see this statement via calculations, right? So okay, let's do this. Let's find theta. So it's tan theta is equal to negative 3 over 4. So in your calculator, you're going to press shift and then tan, and then it'll give you this one, and then okay, and then go and find your answer. Let's find our value here. So it gave me, because I remember I did these questions before. You know what I mean? I did these questions before, and then I found the values. They are values that are found. So yeah, there are values that are found. There are values that are found. You know, when I calculated it. So I'm doing the equations with you guys so that you can see like how we do them. I want you guys to see me how you do them. So okay, it said shift and then you said tan, and then arctan is this one there, and then into negative 3 over 4. So then here's my answer. It gave me a negative angle, and remember, we don't need negative angles here. We don't need negative angles. Like there is no a negative angle. Always your angles have to be positive. You know what I mean? Yes, because your angle is very obviously is your direction, but then you don't use the positive and negative signs and stuff like that. So we have a negative angle here, which is negative 36, 8698. So then because you have a negative value here and it's less than 90, it's less than 180, but then here's what I was taught. When you have a negative angle here, and you can see, you could see, no, this angle value is less than, they said it's a reflex angle, ne? But you can see that this one is negative 36. This one is not a reflex angle. So then you add 180 onto this angle. So then you can see, you could see value as you add 180 is greater than the reference angle, ne? But then so then you take the sign of a bigger number, which is positive, ne? So then you're gonna have positive 143, 13 degrees. So then this is your reflex angle. You can see, this reflex angle is greater than 90, and I didn't add 90 here, I just added 180. You know what I mean? Yes, because already our angle is greater than 90, and then they said that our theta is a reflex angle, which means the reflex angle is also always greater than 90. So okay, we found our angle here, which is 143, 13, eh? So okay. Yes. It was okay. Let me just say plus 180 here, because already I've shown you my things. So then our final answer was 143 comma 13 degrees. One sorry. So okay, we have our our theta to prove that it is a reflex angle, ne? So and then okay, let's try to draw um our our Cartesian plane, our cast diagram. Let me put it like that. Let's try to draw our cast diagram on the side for this thing in one. Before I attempt any question, and guys, please be fast. Now here I'm just slow so that you guys can understand, so that you guys can go with me once more. And then remember, it's your Cartesian plane. Remember, this is your Cartesian plane. We have y and we have x values. Ne? At the top, we'll see we're going positive, and then here, to the right you are going positive, and then to the left is negative, and then downward south is negative. You know what I mean? So then we'll see, here's how your right angle triangle should be constructed. Once more, this is how they should be constructed. So then on your first diagram, this is how you construct it, and then on your second diagram, this is not really necessary. I'm just showing you guys how we draw the right angle triangles on our cast diagram. One, yes, this is how you draw your cast diagram. So okay, I get we have tan is equal to -3/4, and we already found our theta name, which means our theta is greater than 90 value from 0 up until here is 143. It's 143 comma 13 degrees. Sorry, this is our theta. One. So yeah, they said it can't go and pass 180 because we found our angle, which is 143 comma 13, which means it falls here, somewhere here on our second quadrant. Again, we said it's greater than 90, but then we found our angle, which is 143, which means that the angle is less than 180 but greater than 90. Here's our 90. Now our 90 falls here, then our 180 falls here, then here we have our 270, here we have our 360 0. Okay, yeah, this is how it goes. So then let's go to our trigonometric ratio. Here we need to find 3. Okay, 3, which is your opposite, and then yeah, I've said this thing is on our second quadrant. 3 is your opposite, and then like guys, I get a value of, we already found our angle, ne? So it means our second quadrant, that's where we're gonna find our right angle triangle. So as 3 is our opposite, we're going to put 3 here. Let's not put the signs yet. Let's just put the values just as they are, you know what I mean, and not the signs first. And then okay, our adjacent is 4, so then it means it will come here. So now let's come to the signs. We'll see from here, from the origin, let me see, from the origin going upward is what is positive, ne? So which means our 3 is positive, not negative. So this will make our 4 negative because our 3 is positive. And then look at our 4 is going where? To the left, where our negative values fall. So it means our 4 will be negative. So we have our thing here, but remember, we don't have our hypotenuse. Let's find our hypotenuse. In order to find your hypotenuse, all you have to do is to use the trigonometric ratio at the end. No, the Pythagoras theorem. So you're gonna say hypotenuse to the power 2 is equal to our opposite, which is 3, plus our adjacent, which is -4 squared, name. This is our Pythagoras theorem. You can use this theorem to find any side that is not given. If you're given a hypotenuse and your adjacent, you can use the Pythagoras theorem to find your opposite, ne? So then, okay, just because now I want to remove, okay, let's just go. I don't want to be like fast and stuff like that. I don't want to be quick. Let's just go with our hypotenuse, and then here we have 9. It will be plus 16 because negative 4 times negative 4 is positive 16. It's okay. We have our hypotenuse squared is equals to 25. 9 plus 6 is 25. So then you introduce square root on both sides, you know, because here we're trying to find the hypotenuse without a square root. So in order to remove the square root, I mean like the squared 2 here, the squared 2 here, the 2 here, you have to introduce the square roots on both sides. You know what I mean? What you do on the left hand side, you also do on the right hand side. So here we have 5 units. So your hypotenuse is 5 units. You only have 5 units. So you have your hypotenuse, ne? So then you can attempt your question now using this diagram. Again, they said with the aid of a diagram. Yeah, with the aid of a diagram. Like it's given that with the aid of a diagram, which means that you are required to draw this diagram so that it helps you with your questions. You know what I mean? In your answer sheet, bro. Like just do this in your answer sheet, bro. Yeah, you don't even have to copy the whole statement. When I just write 4.1 and then do everything that I did here, so and then after that you are going to attempt your questions. You're going to go to 4.1.1. you know what I mean? So 4.1.1, they said like we need to find the value of sine theta, yeah? So it's equals to sine theta. You go at your cast diagram, and then at your cast diagram, here is our right angle triangle that we're going to focus on. We're going to focus on this right angle triangle. So here's what you're going to do. Don't forget your trigonometric ratio when it comes to our sine, our cos, and our tan, yeah? Sine, we said, is opposite over adjacent. So what is our opposite here? Our opposite is what? 3, and it's positive. So our hypotenuse is what? 5 is the one that we found, ne? So your answer is 3 over 5, and then you are done. They said without the use of a calculator. Don't use a calculator here. Yes, don't use a calculator. 4.1.2, let's go. Is cos 180 degrees minus theta is equals to, okay, let's go now. These things I've taught them on our introduction videos, like on our previous video. Yes, I taught this. So here, when it comes to questions like this, find your 180 degrees minus theta on your cast diagram. You know what I mean? So let me advance my cast diagram, ne? So on my cast diagram, let me first, because now we're dealing with the 180s, and I know what's 180 here minus theta on our second quadrant, and then when it comes to our third quadrant, it's 180 plus theta, and then when it comes to our fourth quadrant, is 360 minus theta. Don't forget this thing. So we have 180 degrees minus theta on our cast diagram. You know, it falls on our second quadrant. You know what I mean? So okay, here's how you're going to do it. You know, I get it. This is our cast diagram, and you know, we'll see our cast diagram start from where? From fourth quadrant. This is how you're going to do. This is C cast or one cast. Yes, we have one. This is our cast diagram. All science teachers are crazy. You know what I mean? All science teachers are crazy. This basically means that all of our trigonometric ratios on our first quadrant, they are what? Positive. all of them, cos, sine, and tan, they're positive. So then on our second quadrant, only sine positive, and then on our third quadrant, only tan positive. And then on our fourth quadrant, the last one, only cos, that is positive. So here's how we are going to do it. So we're going to look for our 180 degrees minus theta on our cast diagram. So on our cast diagram, on our second quadrant, it's only sine that is positive. So then our cos, they're going to be negative, and then our tan, they're also going to be negative. So here's what you're going to write. You're going to write negative because only sine on our second quadrant is what is positive. So then you're going to write cos theta. So then you're going to say negative into, so then find the values of cos theta using your cast diagram, using your second quadrant right angle triangle, which is this one. So your cos, what your cos is adjacent over hypotenuse, and our adjacent is negative 4 on our diagram there. So then your hypotenuse, already know that your hypotenuse is 5. So then your answer, negative times negative is positive, and then you have 4 over 5, and then you are done. So then let's go to other questions. So okay, let's go to the following questions. Okay, let's go. It's 4.2 now, and then we have they're saying if f sine 17 degrees is equal to a, without using a calculator, without the use of a calculator, express the following in terms of a. Express the following, the following in terms of x, of a, in terms of a. So okay, we have 4.1.2 4.2.1. yes, we have 4.2.1. so okay, let me just say, before I can attempt my question, let me look at my statement. You know what I mean? If sine 17 degrees is equal to a, without using a calculator, express the following in terms of a. So okay, let's work out our sine 17. I wanna know what's happening with this thing. I wanna know what's happening. So this thing is basically like this: sine 17 degrees, we already have an angle here, and then this basically means that our a was divided by 1 in order to give us a. So then when it comes to your sine, your numerator is our what? Opposite, and then your denominator is your hypotenuse, right? That's how you know. So then let's go and attempt our question. You already have the angle. There's no much of work needed to be done here. So then let's do this. So then 4.2.1 is tan 17 degrees. 4.2.1, yes, it's tan 17 degrees. Okay, here's how you're gonna do it. Yes, guys, because there's something that I need to find before I can attempt these questions. I need to find my my adjacent, because here I only have the opposite and the hypotenuse. So let's use the Pythagoras theorem in order to find our adjacent side. So basically, here is how this thing is drawn in our cast diagram. Because your angle is 17, it is less than 90, so it means your right angle triangle will be on our first quadrant, ne? So then your x, your y. So you know what's your opposite is your a, right? And then your hypotenuse is your 1. So then let's try to find our adjacent. Our adjacent, we can use the theorem of Pythagoras, which is okay, we know that our hypotenuse is 1, so it's 1 squared is equals to our opposite is a squared plus our adjacent, let me just say x, we don't know him. This is what we're looking for, our x, because our adjacent falls under the construction of x. So this is our Pythagoras theorem, right? So then here's what you're going to do. You can say 1 minus a squared is equals to x squared. I don't wanna find x, and we need to be left with x only. So introduce the square root both sides, and then you're left with the square root of 1 into 1 minus a squared, units. So then let's plug him here, 1 minus a squared, right? So then we're done now. We're done with this one. So then let's go. So here's our 4.2.1. 4.2.1. They say tan 17 in terms of a, right? So you know what your tan is, what your tan is opposite over adjacent. So what is our opposite? Our opposite was a, over our adjacent, 1 minus a squared. They said in terms of a, bro. In terms of a. So here we're done. So let's go to 4.2.2. It's sine 107 degrees, which is equal to, okay, you can see with the on our 107 is the angle is no longer 17 degrees, and this is our given angle, right? So okay, let's find the two values that made 107. You know what I mean? Let's find the two values that made 107. You know what I mean? Find the closest values, the closest ones, the closest values. It could either be 90, it could either be 180, but then don't forget here, like, we're working with what can I say? We're on our first quadrant. You know what I mean? But then here is what you're gonna do. Again, we're on our first quadrant. It means and you can see, okay, yes, we're on our first quadrant, but then 107 is greater than 90, which means here you're going to add in order to find this value. Here you're going to add two values. You're going to add two values, which is 90 plus 17. 90 plus 17. 90 plus 17 give us 107, and we already have 17. We already have 17 in our addition. It's sine into 90 degrees plus 17. Yes, it's 17 here, not 7. 17 into, and guys, you know, whenever 90 is introduced, this one will change into cos, because sine and cos, when 90 degrees is introduced, they are now siblings. They are now twins. Let me say that they are now twins. They are now twins. So then this one will change into cos. And don't remember that 90 plus in any angle is found on our second quadrant. Like 180 minus theta, 90 plus theta, they are found on our second quadrant. So then on our third quadrant we have 180 plus theta, and then there is also 270 minus theta. So then on our fourth quadrant we have 360 minus theta, and also we have 270 plus theta. So okay, let's go now. we have sine 90. So again, it's cos, and you know this is your second quadrant. On our second quadrant, only sign is what is positive, so then it's positive. We're going to write it as it is. We're going to write the positive sign, but then change this guy into cos. So then we're going to have cos 17 degrees. You know what I mean? So then our cos, you know what's our cos is your adjacent over hypotenuse, and then we already found our adjacent, which was not a man, it's 1 minus a squared. So then our hypotenuse is what? Is 1. So then your answer is basically 1 minus a squared. That's your answer. I get what they said in terms of a, which means like in all your values, in all your answers, a has to be present. You know what I mean? This guy has to be present. So okay, let's go to 4.2.3. 4.2.3 is cos squared. 4.2.3 cos squared 253 degrees, is it plus sine squared 557 degrees. All right. Okay, let's go here. And I remember I wrote this thing in. Okay, let's continue. Let's do this. Hey, sorry. Okay, let's do this. It's cos squared 253 degrees plus sine squared 557 degrees. So here's how we're gonna do it. It's equals to, you need to find the values that are going to make 253, right? 253, right? So then, and 253, remember that this is past 180. Now it's like under third quadrant. It's on our third quadrant now. You know, it's on our third quadrant. On our third quadrant, we only know that it is only who that is positive, only tan on our third quadrant. So okay, let's find the values that make 253. Remember, we're on our third quadrant because 253 is greater than 180 but less than what? 270. You know what I mean? So we're going to say cos squared into 270 minus, we need to find the value that when we subtract here is going to give us 253. So then we found 17. You know what I mean? So then plus sine squared into 557 is greater than 360, which means we're going to subtract, we're going to minus by 360 because this value is way too big. It's equals to, so then remember 270 degrees minus 17 degrees is found on our third quadrant, and now it's a 270 thing, so it means this one, I don't know. Let's do this. 270 degrees minus 17, this is our third quadrant, né? And you know this is 90 and 270. We change these ones, these are siblings, right? We change the siblings of sine and cos. These are siblings. Sine and cos are siblings when it comes to 270 and 90 degrees. So it's gonna, and they know that this one is found on our second quadrant, on our third quadrant, and on our third quadrant only tan is positive. So then we are going to have a negative sine something. Yes, because this one will change value because of 270. It will become sine now. Once more. Do you get me? And then plus sine squared, okay, sine squared into 557 minus 360 is what? 197 degrees is equal to let's go with this one because we're still busy with the other one, right? Squared. Then let's find the two values that make 197. I believe is 180 degrees plus 17 degrees. which is equals to negative sine squared 17 plus 180 plus this is found on our this is also on our third quadrant, because the value that you're going to find here is greater than 180, which is 197 is greater than 180. So, and on our third quadrant, only tan is what is positive, right? Only tan is positive, so it means our sign will be negative. This sign doesn't change because we have 180 here. Remember that. Squared 17, right? So then here's how we're gonna do it. Negative negative. These two, they are the same value. It's negative. Let me just say 17. Hey, squared here, man. So then negative multiplied by positive multiplied by negative is negative squared 17, and then we have negative 2 sine squared 17, and then it's negative 2 into sine 17 is what? Is a over 1. Is a over hypotenuse, right? A over hypotenuse, which was 1. So it will be, it's negative 2a squared, bruh. That's your answer. That's your answer. That's your answer. It's negative 2a squared. Then we're done with this one. We're done.